right to it because I tend to go over and I don't want you to get carpal tunnel with those flags. So actually for me, my new beginning was not when I found the lump. It was not even when I found out it was cancer. My unexpected new beginning, those were like preps for it actually. Like when you go for a colonoscopy and you have to drink the gunk and you know the literal shitstorm that's gonna happen to you, right? It's like that, only instead of crapping your pants and having a camera shoved up your butt, you're getting your boob chopped into, you know? So it wasn't that. It wasn't, the radiation. It wasn't any of that was the new beginning. Actually, my unexpected new beginning became being a cancer survivor, actually. So let me explain. So when I first found the knot at the top of my breast from a self-exam, do your self-exams, people, I immediately said, that is an unwanted new tenant in my tata. And I needed to get it figured out. So you go to the mammogram, you go to the ultrasound, you go to the biopsy, which ultimately found out that it was cancer. And then after that, you go to an MRI with contrast dye, that kind of rolls off the tongue. And then I found out really that my malignant moocher had roommates that had, decided to settle into my boobs. So, you process that information and digest it. You face your fear about death and everything, and then you kind of get into fight mode. So my first order of business was surgery. So I had what was called a partial mastectomy, and they go in and they scoop out the tumors, and then they got to get a bunch of tissue because they want clean margins. And actually, my surgeon, in addition to that, believed that my main tumor, not the side chicks, was too close to the skin, and they didn't want to worry about possible future skin cancer. So instead of just an incision, she was going to have to actually excise a large piece of skin or flesh. It would have made Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs cry. He could use it for a kneecap, or something like that. He really would have enjoyed it, right? So after that's, all said and done, you move forward into the idea that now this is not just closed, it's going to be closed and lifted up, right? So the deal is maybe you're thinking, oh, that's great. You got your cancer out and you got a breast lift. It's a little 2-for-1. But hold on, nip and tuck, because I had chosen, for a variety of reasons, not to do reconstructive symmetrical surgery. And the thing is, even when you have made a decision and it's going to be best for you down the road, you still have to come to terms with it. And for me, coming to terms with it meant looking in the mirror naked and just laughing at myself, right? So over here, we got Old Faithful, right? And she's been around the block a few times. She swings low, sweet chariot, but she's smooth and solid and dependable. Good soup, right? Okay, and then over here now, she's a little smaller and she's lifted up more and a little, perkier. But, she's also pretty beat up. And they tell you that your breast changes over the years, especially with radiation. And so I actually had a retraction, kind of like a divot. So really, she's like a boob from the clearance aisle. She is a, dented can, if you will. Let's see what I did there. Anyway, so, little wonky. And you're looking now, aren't you? I bet when you left the house tonight, you did not have checking out a grandma's uneven pair of knockers on your bingo card, did you? And yet, here we are. So welcome to your new beginning tonight. So if it wasn't that, if it wasn't getting used to the new body and all that, what was it? Was it the new lease on life? Was it just being happy to survive? Absolutely. But what I came to learn was this post-cancer, this follow-up, what they call a survivorship period. For me, it's 5 years. And that is because in your first 5 years, you're most vulnerable and most apt to possibly have a reoccurrence, right? So what does that mean? That means constant doctor appointments, right? With all your doctors. And the rub is that here you fought for this life, right? And you just want to live it and enjoy it and not think about cancer and maybe even forget you even had it. And then here it comes. here comes the emails and the phone calls and the text messages in all caps, don't forget your appointment at the Todd Cancer Pavilion. You had cancer, don't forget it, don't you forget it. And then also during this time, I had a scare, a little cancer scare, and I wasn't aware, I had not experienced yet the all hands on deck kind of 5-alarm fire that the doctors all go to, which lifts your panic, like, oh my God, it's back, Praise God, it was just scar tissue, but that was a big emotional roller coaster and quite a learning, curve for me at the time. And once again, I'm not complaining. I'm extremely grateful. I'm grateful for the medical care I got, for the doctors that saved my life and continue to take care of me. But my unexpected new beginning is in living life to the fullest, while all the while having the knowledge of and also being a participant in regular doctor appointments in which the what if game is strong, what if it's back? And really, every doctor appointment is just a affirmation or, an exclusion of that reality, right? So the question is, how do you live in that in between? How do you find the sunlight of peace and hope and serenity among the clouds of fear and uncertainty? And for me, that meant leaning in deep to my faith, depending on the love and support of my family and friends, my program, my church family. It meant taking care of my responsibility of myself, going to the doctor appointments, even if I wanted to put my head in the sand. And it meant leaving the outcome to God. What's going to happen is going to happen. And I'll tell you, living in this messy middle of this new beginning, it's not for the faint of heart. But every time I get the opportunity to wake up, giggle at myself in the mirror, watch my children and my grandchildren grow and flourish, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. Thank you.
Nancy English Fletcher.